Hi, welcome to the Pets Digest. Today I'm going to speak with you about chia seeds and dogs. A little bit about me before we start. My name is Courtney and I've practiced veterinary medicine since 2003, either part or full time. These are my two dogs, Chi Chi and Cha Cha, and they both have digestive issues, and they're the reason why I started the Pets Digest in the first place. So chia seeds, they have so many awesome benefits, and a lot of pet owners, once they find out about all the benefits, they feel a little bit remiss as to why they didn't start sooner, putting them in their dog's diet. And there's a lot more research starting to take place around chia seeds and dogs, and most of the evidence proves that chia seeds are extremely beneficial for them. So let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits for chia seeds and dogs and how they are extremely nutrient dense and they're packed with fiber, which makes them a really healthy option for your dog's meals, especially if they have some constipation and things like that going on too. Plus, they are pretty much hypoallergenic. So most pet parents won't have to worry about that at all. It's really rare if they're allergic to the seeds, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And in addition to that, the seeds are really packed with a lot of vitamins and minerals like vitamin B, calcium, iron, copper, and zinc. They're anti-inflammatory, they're antioxidant, and they have a ton of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, while chia seeds are pretty much fairly safe, you don't want to opt out of discussing weight-specific dosages with your vet prior to feeding them. But this is the typical general rule of what you're gonna feed them. So about a quarter of a teaspoon for every 10 pounds of body weight for each dog. And you want to always make sure you soak your chia seeds first. Ideally, you wanna soak a fourth cup of chia seeds in about 4 cups of water, and you can keep them in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. I do mine overnight if I soak them that way, and you can add them to your dog's food, and you wanna make sure you use it within 3 days. But you can also add it to their water, which is how I like to give my dogs chia seeds personally. And again, while they're fairly safe, there are some things that you want to keep in mind. And while we go through these things that you want to keep in mind, also remember that these are pretty rare occurrences. They don't happen a whole lot. So, one of the first things that you may think about when you feed your dog anything is GI issues. And yes, they can cause GI issues. They are packed with fiber, like I said before. So, it can cause GI upset if you give your dogs too much. So, like the saying goes, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. They can cause blockages as chia seeds can hold up to 12 times their weight in water, which means they're pretty wonderful at preventing dehydration. But if they're taken dry, they can possibly cause major issues in your dog's esophagus or stomach. And this is always why you want to soak them first. And you don't want, when you give if you give them dry again, you don't wanna do that, but if you decide to give them dry, then they're really small, so they can get lodged in your dog's esophagus pretty easily and just pull a lot of the moisture out of their intestines and cause internal swelling, things like that, and then this can lead to many complications like blockages, which are or can be very life-threatening. And again, like I said, they're pretty much hypoallergenic, but there may be some rare instance where your dog is allergic to chia seeds. So if you're giving them to your dog, just make sure you're keeping a really close eye on them the first couple of times that you give them to them and just start out with a really small amount. So if you want to half the dose that your vet tells you to give, maybe start out with a really small amount. Another thing is omega-3 overload. Like I said, they have a lot of omega-3. And if you don't know a lot about omega-3 and omega-6, they kinda work together, but there's a really delicate balancing act between them. So you wanna make sure that if you're giving chia seeds, your dog is also getting enough omega-6. And they also are really good at reducing blood sugar and high blood pressure, but this can be dangerous if your dog is already taking medications for these issues. So you definitely want to speak to your vet prior to feeding them chia seeds because eating too much can cause hypoglycemia or hypotension. And just some signs that your dog may be having a bad reaction to chia seeds includes gagging, diarrhea, vomiting, stomach upset and bloat, and a really just painful sore abdomen. And while all dogs can benefit from chia seed, most dogs can, there are some that may benefit a little bit more than others. So let's talk about that a little bit. Overweight dogs can definitely benefit because they're going to give your dog a sense of fullness. At least that's what some research shows is that they give them a sense of fullness. So they won't want to eat quite as much. And also, they're a great source of fiber, like we said before. So that can also assist in weight loss. If your dog has a bout of constipation, I'm sorry for this video, but it's the video that I can find to kind of fit this part of the video. So, but if your dog has some constipation and they suffer from like intermittent constipation, they may benefit from eating chia seeds with their meal every once in a while to kind of add that fiber in and make their stools a bit more regular. Diabetic dogs, like I said before, chia seeds have been shown to help support normal insulin function, and they can help regulate blood sugar and glucose tolerance too. But again, you want to make sure that you speak with your vet because you don't want to give your dog too much and they become hypoglycemic. So, if you're giving your dog chia seeds, there are four things that you definitely want to keep in mind. And I'm going to reiterate some things that we talked about before because they're really important. So, the first thing is that you always want to make sure you soak them. Like I said before, chia seeds can absorb 9 to 10 times your body weight, and you don't want to not soak them because that can lead to blockages, choking hazards, and things like that. Also, you want to observe your dog. If you're giving them to your dog the first couple of times, I would make sure you watch out for any signs of gagging, allergic reactions, GI upset, those type of things as well. And I always say consult your vet before you give your dog anything internally. So make sure you talk with your vet, and then that way they can give you a recommended starting amount to give with your dog's meals. And then just always keep water close by. So always have a fresh bowl of water for your dog whenever you're giving them, ideally, whenever they're eating, but whenever you're giving them some chia seeds, make sure they have fresh water. And that is all I have to talk to you today about with chia seeds. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the comment. I would love it if you would like and subscribe and check out my blog. Thanks. Bye.